Are you outraged? Are you outraged with all of this Scott Morrison stuff? How he secretly was the minister for everything?
Oh, yeah.
Look, you're going to have to fill me in on this.
You don't know about this?
I don't know if you know this, but like a remote I don't know how insects got the internet spot.
You're like quizzing him on shit. He hasn't been anywhere.
So-
I vaguely know it. Isn't that amazing? It kind of just floats through the ether to Vanuatu like the insects.
It was found out that
We should probably say why we're doing a pod on Sunday too. We didn't say that.
Yeah, so we're doing it because we won't be able to do a pod on Tuesday, so you get an early pod.
Because we'll be in Melbourne, and you can't. There's no internet there either. So like.
But when this does get released, guys, just so you know, doing a Melbourne show, and I forgot to advertise it entirely, so now I'm desperately doing a last-minute ditch attempt. Say, come on down. 23rd to the 27th at the good old Comedy Yuck Yuck Club.
Unfortunately,
he's playing about 20 shows, so I'm sure he can squeeze one day of the year. Can't do Monday? Well, there's 17 more. No excuses.
Yeah, all right, guys.
Jordan, what's on your face?
Get me there. Where?
On your cheek.
Oh, it's probably just rice as always.
No.
No,
Is it still there?
It's chili flake from the chips that we were eating before.
All right,
and then gave them to this human dumpster over here.
Hey, I had the balls to do
what needed to be.
Yes.
I'll give you an update on what happened with Scott Morrison is that we found out that between 2021,
this nice haircut by the way, but continue.
In 2021, he secretly also became a minister for a bunch of other portfolios like Treasury, Health, and Home Affairs, and he except for one, he told all of the ministers that he was doing this. Because, if you're a minister, if you're in cabinet, then there's certain things that only a minister can do. Even the prime minister can't do it. So if you're a treasurer and you want to pass on a particular thing with, let's say, the IMF or some shit, you need the treasurer to sign that off, not even the prime minister. Because the idea is that the prime minister isn't greater than the ministers in our Westminster system. He's like the first amongst equals. Anyways.
Yeah, that's why the prime minister ever really does is just try and bolster the idea of a referendum and then just referendum doesn't happen.
And it doesn't happen ever.
That's all they do, isn't it? They just do that and then they go to Vanuatu more than
And so he had secretly sworn in all of these different ministerial portfolios. And in one instance, he didn't even tell the minister that he was secretly a co-minister. And so this came out after the Labour government got in. They were like, what the hell was going on here? How come no one knew about this? And Scott Morrison's justification is
COVID.
Unprecedented times. The British Prime Minister was on a ventilator. Early days, Peter Dutton was diagnosed. We didn't know if all of these people are going to die, and we needed to make sure that one person is able to pass off on all the important decisions that might occur in instances where these ministers die or something.
And why is that a bad idea then?
What,
I am
doing
learning
that?
this in real time.
So they didn't tell. So this was something that could be done, but you should at least inform the public. Because on the surface, he secretly became dictator of Australia that no one knew about.
This is basically the best PR for Labor possible. That's what this is.
Yeah?
But I have a different sort of...
I hope to God Anthony Albanese has been milking it.
He has.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Dutton.
Dude,
good for something.
Labor's just this is can't get any better for them because it's just Scott Morrison was secretly assigning himself titles, and people in his own party, in the Libs now, are saying he should resign.
Yeah, there's people now within the Liberal Party that are saying he should resign.
There's Libs being like, you need to resign publicly, angrily, emotionally. It's insane. It can't get any. Scott Morrison can't fuck up anymore. He can't. It's not possible.
There's Liberals.
Yeah.
Telling him to resign.
Going out to the media
Barnaby
and saying
Joyce
this is disgraceful.
Barnaby Joyce is one of the only politicians that says that, he effed up, but he shouldn't have to resign for it.
And Dutton is defending him.
Yeah.
No, Dutton is just when people bring it up to Dutton, is like
Dodges
Alba
it.
was talking about it. He's like, Alba should be focusing on important decisions right now and not be concentrating on these
the past.
distractions. So he's basically like, his entire strategy right now is, don't look here. There's nothing important. Focus on, I don't know, like the Indian Prime Minister or some shit. I don't know, whatever you want to focus
Crazy.
Yeah, because he's realised he can assign himself the powers when he becomes.
Yeah.
He already has, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the leader of the
Legitimate
opposition,
Prime Minister.
but also like a secret Governor General Prime Minister combined at the same time.
Yeah. Secret Governor General Prime Minister. I wouldn't be surprised.
But
either.
I'm gonna be honest.
So why did the Governor General sign off on it?
Because of the justification that Scomo Morrison providing, unprecedented heights, I needed these powers. Because people are looking at it in hindsight, but at the time we were in uncharted waters, and I needed to have the authority. Now,
He get checks for this, does he?
No, he didn't get checks for it. Good question.
Thank you.
He did not. He did not get checks for it.
Well, I'm
But
learning.
I think the whole point is that it was so secretive.
Oh, so people are angry about the secrecy of it.
No, people are angry about the fact that, like, why are you concentrating all the power into your hands? That's point number one. Secondly, even if I understand that, the times were such that you thought that it was important, why didn't you fucking tell us? Like, why are you doing
If it
this
was
shit
that
in secret?
important.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose because, as you pointed out, he did just make himself effectively dictator of Australia.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, like
And none of
heaps of
us knew
positions. It was
about
not like it was like 5 different positions.
He
or
never
something.
exercised it except in one instance where I think he, like, disapproved a mining contract, which irrelevant. Like, in most instances, in most of the portfolios, he didn't actually exercise his power. Dude, I'm gonna be honest. This is the most. This opinion is obviously incorrect. I'm gonna say it from bad, and I am very, very
You're pro Scomo.
open to like be persuaded otherwise. But I'm like, what's the big deal, guys?
The
Having
Pakistani
said that,
man.
this is a guy from a country who's mostly lived under dictators.
I was gonna say, he's like, well, it reminds me of home. There should be more of this happening.
I'm just saying, like, dude, I remember when during COVID, there were times when people were like freaking
Trying
out.
times.
Including you, Miss.
Yeah, but I wasn't like, oh no, what if the environment minister dies? How will they waste more of our money going to bullshit trips to fucking the UN? I can't live with it.
Okay, fair point, but I'm just saying, I think Scott Morrison should have made it public.
Yes, I agree.
But I also think that there would be a lot of countries where something of this nature would happen and it would stay classified.
Dude, I hope all those ministers got COVID. Fuck those ministers.
No, I'm not saying that I'm pro the government. I'm just saying
There's some countries, but yeah, no, I have to disagree with that. take.
you have to distance yourself.
I'm
from me.
distancing myself from that take.
You know what I
Imagine if Labor did that
probably-
again. Imagine, dude, the presses would stop. It was like the presses would break, and then they'd be like, "Oh my god, it's so red hot, we can't print it." And then they'd be like, "You gotta print it, goddammit!" And then a man would get, he'd press a button preemptively and get sucked into the presses, and then crushed, and the blood would go over the ink of the presses, and that's what would happen if Labor did that. It's just bullshit. It's just insane.
But I tell you what,
Can you imagine? Imagine.
You know, like, this is the thing, right? Like, I think probably what people are thinking, because this really does seem like one of those things that, like, doesn't matter what morally abhorrent things Scott Morrison did, they don't really care, because, like, the whole apparatus of, like, power are just lawyers, right? So they just justify anything in their minds. When someone, such a legal precedent, and we're in uncharted, what do we do? You can't go back to 1635 and find an example. I think that's what's happening there.
Right.
Don't you reckon that's why
Well, there's
like,
an
all the ABC types and stuff would be like, oh my God.
Maybe, yeah.
So, like, it's just because it's like, yes, okay.
I just don't like
this
lies.
is a bad legal precedent, definitely. That's
Yeah.
definitely
well, it's
true.
not a legal precedent. It's an executive decision that he's taken.
But it must be a legal precedent because it's kind of just, well, not legal, but it's a precedent in that now we know that you can do this, which is actually Scott Morrison's genius.
Well,
He's
it's not-
very good at, like, finding little loopholes in
Yeah.
bullshit paper games.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, look, most people that understand how the government works already knew that this is possible. You can always have co-ministers, but both of them have to be sworn in. Both of them have to be elected representatives, and both of them need to be part of the cabinet.
Well, he ticks all those boxes.
He does tick all those boxes. But the thing is, it's usually not done because the idea is that the democracy is based on the idea that, you don't like concentrate power, you bifurcate power. So like the more people that hold the power, the less likely it is that the system gets sort of screwed up by one crazy man. He was undermining that. There's no legal requirement for him not to do it, but it's just a democratic tenet that he was violating in secrecy. Good countries would take issues with this. I agree with you guys. I am in agreement with that.
Okay, good.
But
You're backpedaling.
No, I bet you in America, American system is different, but this shit would have stayed classified in America. America classifies everything.
Yeah, but that's fucked. That's fucked.
I hope you guys are right in saying that Labor is, slogging this for a 6. But I just saw like a brief little thing that just came up at the airport, and it was just Anthony Albanese, and I've never seen that man more bored.
Really?
My entire life, he was sitting there just going like, yeah, great. Maybe disgrace is a bit too harsh.
No, we watched the different press conference. I saw him quite, energized, being like absolutely disgraceful.
He's changed his tune a little bit.
Maybe not that much, but let's not go crazy. But like,
he's in an awkward position too because he's now not the leader of the opposition. He's the prime minister. So the idea that the prime minister does press conference all the time, throwing,
but he's not doing it all the
dirt
time.
at like the ex-prime minister. He needs other ministers to do that shit. He doesn't have to do it himself, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
He's currently waiting on some legal advice to tell him what to do about this. I'm guessing there's going to be an inquiry into this as well.
You know what else it is? It's so it actually just probably strikes at the heart of why people didn't like Scott Morrison, which was that he was so shifty.
Yeah, dodgy.
There's a lot of that. It's like the holiday would have been fine if it was open.
Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't have been fine, but like people would have forgotten about
but
it.
If you announce it, they would at least know.
Yeah, there'd be a public debate, and then if people decide, if at the time he had pitched this idea, and let's say there was like general public's they weren't for this policy, then he could have just then not done it. But you're right. He is a shifty little man. He is shifty. He's a shifty little CU.
He's a dodgy.
And
dodgy.
he just thought
hang around.
No, I think the other thing that happened with him was like at some point, particularly during COVID, he just thought he was Churchill.
Yeah.
He thought like he was the shit. So it didn't even occur to him that maybe I shouldn't be the dictator. Maybe I think he assumed that I'm rightfully the dictator.
Wartime.
Yeah, wartime.
Yeah.
And
so it wasn't of any benefit to him.
Well, it could have been of benefit to him.
Well, I suppose it wasn't benefit to him because of his denying that. What was it, like a drilling site?
I think there was a mine or something.
I looked that up, but that was like again in public knowledge.
Just power hungry. Loves the power, these politicians. Fucking dogs. Fucking dirty dogs. I'll go on the record saying that a lot of them are dirty dogs. Not all of them, but most of them.
Well, thank you for informing me. That was great.
Yeah, you might
want to... The whole time
wanna...
I was just staring at a lizard, just being like, why are you here? That was it.
Yeah, well, that better off. Come on. You probably
definitely better off. But here's the other thing. I tell you one thing. The general population of Australia is very pissed off at Scott Morrison. And the conservative population just thinks of him as like, a used bullet. So they're like, fuck him.
Chuck him out. Because I saw today on YouTube, I didn't watch it, but it seems like Andrew Bolt was slamming Scott Morrison. Yeah. And again, I think he always hated Scott Morrison anyway.
Really?
I'm not sure. I don't watch enough Bolt, but I was like very critical of him all the time.
I think there is also like an effort in the liberal media and liberal base in general, where they're thinking that, all of these, what are they, wets, the Malcolm Turnbulls? They're like, fuck them. Get rid of them. They're just a lag. And now with Peter Dutton as the opposition leader, they're like, if Scott Morrison goes, good.
and
Yeah,
they're
probably.
right. They really are. I agree wholeheartedly with
He's got to
liberals.
He's got to resign. Like, get out.
Wets are a wet blanket. Huh?
Just get him to fucking.
Dude,
he can be the leader of Hillsong. That's where he belongs, or whatever the fuck it is. Just
Why-
get him there. Get him out. Get out.
I think
You're
it should
done.
generally be a rule that prime ministers, once they lose an election, should leave politics.
I think that's kind of fair, actually.
The idea that like you could be the fucking prime minister for 6 years and a front bencher for like 15, and then you get voted out, and then you're like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna go back to the seat. Hope nobody notices me. He's like, dude, I respect Malcolm Turnbull. He was like, fuck it, I've got too much money. I don't need to do this. I was the prime minister. You got rid of me. My political career is done. John Howard still isn't sitting in the fucking parliament.
Did he stay around at all?
No.
Yeah,
He's out.
it's almost like
Immediately.
I think it's kind of shameful to stay.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Just tucked away in the corner.
Well, I
like
know.
some member for WA or
It
something.
used to be all the way down the front, banging your head on that golden book or whatever the fuck it is, and now you're all the way at the back.
Never getting to say anything.
Yeah, it's like, get out. What are you doing? That you're just sleeping. All the people at the back sleep. I mean, they all sleep
And
most
do you know
of the
like
time.
how much
Fuck.
of a pay cut it is too? So like, so a prime minister is, I don't know the exact number, but it's like somewhere around $500,000, right? And if you're a minister, a cabinet minister, then you're at like 450. And if you go back to being a backbencher, you're like 180 or 190 or something.
Should be lower. Get it on 50K.
No, it's like
190s.
no. That's why they're still there. These guys are losers. So what they do is they're like, okay, now I'm at the top job. It's like a CEO becoming a CEO, making a lot of money, and then once the CEO gets fired for whatever reason, they're like, I'm just gonna become a foot soldier again because like I've got no other options in life. I'd rather take a minus 350% pay cut than actually go out in the workforce because who the fuck's gonna hire me?
It's actually a good question when it comes to Scott Morrison. Who is going to hire him?
Hillsong.
Do they hire? I suppose they
Yeah, you just sit on some board and fucking, I don't know, like pray.
What do you think is his motivation?
So medieval, just getting cast away to a monastery.
Yeah.
Just try to be objective here. What do you think Scott Morrison was thinking when he didn't retire? Like, what's his argument?
Boredom.
I think you just nailed it. Maybe it's just like, he was like, all right, just waiting for my oil board money and...
Yeah,
pretty
probably.
much, yeah. Can you just check if the phones are working? They are. Oh boy, this is very sad.
So it's like literally paying the mortgage is what you're saying.
I don't even know if it's the mortgage. I think Scott Morrison's probably rich enough to not worry about a mortgage in Cronulla.
Dude, I think it's boredom. I think it's a thing of like...
Dude, being a backbencher
maybe-
is more boring than anything.
No, but like if you're not that bright and you don't have heaps of foresight, it's a safe bet, If you don't take risks if you're dumb. So he's not taking any risks. He's just like scared and bored and
Dude, and now he can't even get
scared and bored. And he's like, I'll just do it. What else am I going to do?
What about, maybe he's got the same hoop dreams that Abbott had.
What hoop dreams did Abbott have?
Abbott was just thinking, I'm going to pull a Rudd.
Go.
Get fucking Malcolm Turnbull out and I'm coming back.
I feel like he already did that to Malcolm Turnbull. Like he's pulled too many rugs already. I think he's out of the rug pulling business.
Wait,
now.
what? Didn't Abbott get voted out of his seat in like Manly or whatever though?
He did, but like he literally had to be kicked out.
Right.
But dude, to be fair to Abbott, that motherfucker only got 2 years. The man deserved at least 3. I'm not a fan of him.
That's how it goes.
But that's just rude.
well, Rod got kicked out. Everyone gets.
Yeah, but then he made a comeback, and he's also like known in Australia as like as a cool dude. Tony Abbott, the last image that people have of him was like when it was raining and he was handing out his like how to vote leaflets, and he lost.
I know.
That was so sad.
I know this is a political podcast, but you're all really overthinking it. It's just a bunch of chumps chumping each other over. End of story. That's all it is. just a bunch of people like wheeling and dealing. It's like that thing in The Simpsons where it's just like when Lisa sees the political, she's like, I see what Washington looks like. And it's just pigs scratching each other's backs and eating out of money troughs. It's just that. It's just like it's a circus. So don't like over intellectualize.
Dude, I tell you,
this is what I'm saying though. Like, yes, it is that, and now it was the pigs and the cats. But the thing was, it should have been time for Scott Morrison to turn into a cat if he wanted to do that.
Yeah, no, sure, but like he's either not capable or he doesn't. People don't want him. I think
he's not going to be. He is not going to be a good employee. I wouldn't hire him if I had the opportunity.
And that's why he probably went back.
Particularly knowing his history, he's shifty, like you said. One of the worst traits about an employee. Then he also
people hated dealing with him.
There's two types of people. If you ask them a question and they don't know the answer, one person says, I don't know the answer. I'll try to find out or explain to me how this works. And the other person pretends to know. And Scott Morrison is definitely the latter. And that guy sucks as an employee.
This is so true.
Because they're just bullshit artists. They're marketing people.
Yeah.
And
not great at it either.
Yeah, they're not great at that either. And yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Scott Morrison just either he gets on the dole or he stays a parliamentarian. And I think the option is clear for him.
It's so weird that the whole time he was Prime Minister, I think that all of Australia was wondering, like, why are you up there? Like, you really don't deserve that, do you? You know, like, when you looked at Malcolm Turnbull, for instance, it was like, now that is exactly what a Tory is supposed to look like.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you go back to, like, 1700s British Parliament and look at all the oil paintings of former Prime Ministers. And they look exactly the same as Malcolm Turnbull with a cravat.
Yeah.
Which he does wear frequently.
I bet.
To this day.
I bet.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
That's how Tories are supposed to look. But when you looked at Scott Morrison every time, it was just like, dude, like, you shouldn't be... Like, the furthest you should have gotten in life is like a car dealership at Dubbo.
Yeah,
You know? Like,
definitely.
he just didn't have the look. And isn't it weird now that he's like a backbencher, still the thought is like, nah, it's too good for you. Get out.
He doesn't belong there.
He doesn't weird. Like, he just doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't fit.
No,
he doesn't fit. It's like he just screams middle management.
Yeah, I don't get why these people don't just enjoy their money too. Like, what, he needs to sit at the back of a bench in a weird pointy metal building in the middle of nowhere. His
money's probably gone, dude. When you're making $500,000 a year.
Oh, you reckon he's blown it all?
Years,
yeah.
People just assume that this money is going to keep coming.
But it does, yeah.
So like they spend it on.
You reckon he's been spending it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Shit, maybe he's broke. Oh, we're calling it here. Scott Morrison's broke.
He's a broken man after these revelations.
Surely he's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, he must be.
Yeah, but like, dude, as the great Andrew Tate put it, a millionaire is someone that has a mortgage and a shit car. You're broke.
Holy shit.
Hustler University lesson 1.
Oh my God. I don't think you have a mortgage if you're a millionaire, but fair enough, maybe.
Yeah, but your house is worth $1 million, you know?
Jesus Christ.
He probably is a millionaire. Hopefully.
Do you think they should...
Because it just seemed like I knew that this was going to happen, right? Like, I'm assuming that all the ABC analysis over the last 5 days has been the same points over.
Don't look at me.
It is a little bit.
Fucked if I know.
There's
entire
not that much
because Labor's in government, so they're not afraid of the libs. And dude, let's be real, liberals definitely do need an operation cleanup. Like this culture was bad. You know, there's so many stupid corruption scandals that are coming out. I was like, what are we?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What are we, Vanuatu? Like, come on, guys, what are we doing here? You guys really need to clean this up.
Yeah, it's like thing after a thing.
And he is not going to do it.
They should really do like play Duck Duck Goose with the anyone in the peripheries of Parliament, whoever every month, and whoever it lands on. Sorry, you're out.
Well, the guy with the black rod comes in, just smacks him over the head.
Yeah, keep them on their toes. So I could run a country better than any of these people.
You really could.
Fucking hell.
I don't know how that would help the situation.
Keeps the fire under their bellies, under their feet.
But doesn't it just make them scared and despondent.
Yes, that's what we want. Some fear back in Parliament.
Yeah, but like not fear to do anything. Just like fear as in like, oh God, like I'm just gonna lose Russian roulette.
Yes, that's what I want. Yes. I don't care what kind of fear.
Just fear.
Yes, just a little bit more fear.
You're right, actually. I do. That is a bit bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just this kind of like
So cushy.
So cushy. Like those seats look so comfortable.
They are. And
you sat on it?
Well, didn't we? We sat in
Year 6 or something.
No. We went there recently, and I assume it's the same material. We had a little seat. Remember? We went to Canberra.
Yeah, but those are the Povo gallery seats.
Well, I can only
nice, parliamentarian padding.
Well, I can only imagine how cushioned they are.
Because they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
So get on that, Plibisek.
And I suppose the moral of the segment is he's a smug. Right? He's not a good man.
Newsflash.
Dude, I don't like him.
Shame on you.
I don't like him, but I feel like most of the news is obsessed with this story, and I'm like, are we surprised the guys thought that he could pull off some extra shit? Just get him. Like I said, it should be a rule that once you've lost an election, get the fuck out of here. And unfortunately, I have to say the same about Shifty Shorten.
Well, you want Shifty Shorten?
Yeah, get Shorten out too.
I like him, but dude, you lost an election.
He's doing good stuff.
I'm not denying that he isn't doing.
But one for all, it's the same rule for everyone.
Once you lose an election, as a rule, get the fuck out.
Yeah, but come on, if you're opposition leader, opposition leader doesn't even have as much clout as the Minister for Fisheries.
Maybe it has to be Prime Minister. Yeah, we can nut out these
Prime
rules.
Minister's got to go.
We can nut out these rules to this hypothetical that will never happen another time.
You
know what? Oh my God. Can you imagine what the federal ICAC is going to uncover?
That would be...
Is it happening?
Heads would roll.
Is that happening or...
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Eventually it will happen, and there's a lot of dirt's gonna come out. This entire 10-year dictatorship that the Liberals had, I think the last few years they just thought they could get away with anything.
Yeah, they really were.
This federal
just open.
Once this federal ICAC shit comes out, there's gonna be a lot more for you to cover and
Dude,
for us to cover.
It's gonna be entertaining. Forget Netflix,
Yeah, because as Ali was saying, this is just kind of a bit of the Westminster way, This isn't
It's not like...
I found a fund that was set up for highways, and I spent it all on those posters of myself in my electorate going.
What was that lady again?
Money
It was
well
time for a change.
Oh yeah, what was that?
I
The
don't know.
Raven Party. And I was just like, you look like the most unreasonable woman I've ever. There is no way that anyone's reasoning with you.
Got big earrings on.
Marilini asked, imagine if Scomo was your Uber driver, would you get in?
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's a job that Scott Morrison could pull off.
Yeah,
He'd be
he'd be
great
good
at
at that.
Yeah, he would be good
So
at
he
that.
should be making $35,000 a year is what you're saying.
So should. And his chat would be amazing because of how many holidays he's took when he get off the airport and just been like, so where'd you go?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you went to Japan, huh? Yeah, no, it's got some pretty good sushi there.
Yeah.
He'd know.
Yeah, he'd be good. He would be good at that.
He'd be giving you travel tips and everything. I'd give him 5 stars.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's what he should be doing.
And ironically, he makes $190,000 a year.
He rises to the top. Yeah. In tips. Fuck.
I like this job more because I get to sit down even more.
Yeah.
Well, in other news, this is slightly old, but I felt like we should talk about it. Prawnie has officially been kicked out of his radio job, and now he's doing some other shit. But he's saying
officially kicked out of his radio.
You know the one, the 2SM one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they canceled his show. They fired him.
But that happened
Ages
a year ago.
Yeah.
No, it happened 10 days ago. Or maybe he was lost. His last show was 10 days ago.
He got fired from his show that didn't exist.
Former 2SM Marcus Paul has revealed he was left angry and disappointed by his sacking and believes he was held to a different standard by commercial radio bosses due to his modern takes. Paul now
That
hosts
was
his
your
own.
fault.
It was entirely my
You
fault.
got
I
him
feel terrible
fired.
about it.
Yeah, but at the same time,
It's just so bad.
well, Jordan pretty much did. But like he took him to Jordan took him up to the high peaks that he could never have reached. So the beautiful view, and then if you see the view, it's time to go now.
Why
You got to see it.
Do you think he
put it
made
this
a
way,
bad decision?
you never would have seen it otherwise. Would you rather? I reckon if you asked him, would you change anything? He'd be like, no, I wouldn't change a thing. Because what a wild ride.
I highly doubt.
Come on.
Yeah, he's regretting every moment of his life.
Look, I admire him for having the fortitude to actually do that on something where they really just wanted you to regurgitate the script of what John Laws said the day before.
Yeah.
But man, I don't understand how he thought he could get away with what he was saying.
Dude, it's
Every day he was just getting on Labor politician
Yeah.
after Labor politician being like, Gladys Berejiklian should be sacked. We're exposing all of this water corruption, like all of this shit
Yeah.
every day on commercial AM radio.
It's actually really my fault because I was the one that was like, extend an olive branch. If I was just
It's your fault.
it's my fault.
If I just did what originally was my script, which was just yelling boomer over and over again.
Yeah. And then I came along, I was like, look, extend an olive branch. And like, this is what happened. Sorry.
Wait, so what, again, try to get into his head.
I mean, I didn't know that was going to happen. I was just trying to be nice.
Do you think he regrets the entire thing?
He'd have to, right?
Why
I don't
did he?
think he
Why did he
does.
do it in the first place? He. I'm guessing he must have assumed that he could increase his listenership this way, right?
And he did. Massively.
Massively.
But
And young
did he-
people knew who
why would
he
he-
is.
What I'm saying is, for commercial radio, it's in the name. They want listeners, right? So
No,
if
but they don't.
No,
so they'd rather no one listen to their program.
not young people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's not even about the young people thing. It's just the owner wants his political narratives pushed. Otherwise, why would he be in that business?
Yeah.
Media is a very different beast to everything else. Like, man, the radio station that we used to work at was purely there for tax avoidance.
Yeah. Dude, we always say this, but we actively paid out the sponsors. We made sketches paying out. Is that your assassin there, or is the door locked?
Door is locked.
Okay, good. Actively.
I'm scared.
It's all right. We're live, so
Anything
you can
happens.
see. You can see.
You guys.
Hey, Jordan. I said it
Help
first.
us.
Jordan did not fall off Wynyard Station.
Why did this have to happen on an off night? Couldn't this at least happen on the normal night? We had
Yeah, I know. 200 people.
Someone's behind the door and I'm scared.
But what was I saying? We actively paid out. We made skits creatively paying out our sponsors, and they didn't care. They're not interested.
No, they
in
did,
this.
because you're not still doing that job.
That's different reasons.
No,
That's
reason
really
that they didn't want us there.
It's
is
my
because
fault
they didn't
again.
want to pay well under minimum wage a week for 2
No, it wasn't even that. It was my fault again. I dared ask help about something. I said, "Hey, can you just show me how this part of the mixing desk works?" That's it. That was it.
Fired.
No, seriously.
So you destroyed 2 people's budding radio. Did you?
Yes, I'm the radio killer. I kill people's careers in radio. That's what I do.
How?
By trying to
What
be.
the fuck? Why is this man... Like, how does he have so much power? I don't get it. What happened to you, dude?
Trying to be nice. This is what happens when you try to be nice, damn it.
Far out. This is the strangest domino effect I've ever come across in my life.
Keep me away from
I
radio.
always thought that you were destined for radio, but no, you were just destined to destroy the medium. Like, Marcus Paul was taking it to strange new
He
places,
was.
right? Like, he really was.
He was, but I don't
John
think.
Lennon after the beat.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would regret it because what? Just be another pencil pusher and just read the script, or have. It's the same thing. It's like it's a Blade Runner thing of like. The brightest flame dies, whatever, like faster. It's like
He definitely went out in a blaze of glory. Like he
I would rather do that.
did what no one else in radio has ever done.
There you go.
Which is he fell on his sword.
Yeah, and
He
had some
died with honor.
and had some champagne and oysters beforehand. It's not
I
bad.
don't think he had champagne and oysters. He had a sparkly at best.
He had some mimosas, whatever.
with
like
seafood sticks.
Nah. He
Imitation Squid was
No. He was on those before. He got a wife out of it, didn't he?
You got a wife?
Yeah,
Come
he
on.
did. He got married.
Let's get some
because of it.
perspective here. That's not seafood sticks.
Well, that's some very good rationalizing for you destroying a man's life.
Hey, I'm fair. I'm being unbiased. I'm being objective. I think speaking for him, he's happier than ever. Now let's move on. And he does, and no regrets at all.
Well, he's doing a new radio show, so he's not unemployed.
Well, is he doing a new radio show?
Yeah,
he
he
just
is.
said that his other radio show's been cancelled.
Real talk with Prawnie.
He's doing his own starter FM radio show.
There you go.
And this week opened up about challenges and freedoms that come with working for independent media.
See,
there you go.
That's cool. I'm going to have to read that article because I'm very keenly acute of Marcus Paul's existence purely because I think that he should just become a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, but he got...
You know, if like fat neckbeards can...
Yeah.
He got technically fired for some quiz show, right? Where they... one of the questions was about an abduction or something.
Yeah.
So that's officially the reason why he lost his job, not because Miss Love exists.
No, it was me though.
No, but he was the butterfly wings that caused the
Effect,
earthquake
yeah.
in Japan.
Well, put it this way. I was the one that said to be nice to him, and then he started being favourable to Jordan and Labour politicians and then changing the format and changing talk. If Jordan was just like, fuck you, then he would have said fuck you back. He wouldn't be if Jordan said fuck you, Boomer, he wouldn't be trying to interview Plivasek and shit.
Yeah, he might be the replacement for John Laws.
Nah.
Things could have gone anywhere.
He would have been the replacement for John.
Really?
But then again, John Laws can't die, so... John Laws was trashing me on the radio the other day.
Really?
What did he
Yeah,
say?
that's right. What did he say? He was like, he's a university student.
Yeah, it was just like...
He called him a university student.
Something like that. His fans, like these university students, they don't even listen to jazz. It's all rock and roll, and that's it. Rock and roll's the problem. Wasn't that it?
Doesn't understand the real world. Now, one of you handmaidens, fetch me a bologna sandwich.
His golden, literally has a golden microphone saying,
"Your name is Russell Crowe."
Yeah. He's saying these people don't know real life. Where's my golden microphone? Fuck.
Wait, is that all he said? How did you come up? How did you even come up?
I don't know. Like, it's just someone walked up to me and was like, heard John Laws trashing you on the radio the other day. I wanted to ring up and give him a piece of my mind, but I couldn't get through because of how wildly popular John Laws is. It was so weird, man. Like, I went into that radio station. It was phenomenal. It was actually, the... One ticket to Mad Magazine. You're like, look, kid, I know you think that there's a wonder world in there, but it's just a boring office. It was that. It was a wonder world. And then John Laws was just walking through as someone had one of those pogo stick necks being like, it's just like, Charlie, bouncy as always. Went on, and I was in awe of the true king. Move over Elvis. You've been dead for too long. It's time for you to just take that crown off of your skull and give it to the man that's still alive at least.
Why did he pay you out? I suppose it's the same thing.
Well, I mean, it makes a lot of sense why he would pay me.
Well,
he still has a job.
Yeah, but he's also probably just like very crass. Wog's an offensive word. It's probably just that kind of thing. You really opened my eyes with the wog thing. Because in our generation, wog is like someone from Italy. It's like endearing almost. And in their... Huh?
It is endearing.
Yeah,
but in their generation, it's like... It might as well...
The N-bomb.
Yeah, it's the N-bomb.
So it's a little bit more... So I think that's the divide.
Because this is the whole thing. The last time John Laws actually was face-to-face with a wog, I bet you he was like an 8-year-old and there was one of those massive steamboats that looks like the Titanic coming into Sydney Harbour. And he was just like, Father, why do they smell like pickled octopus? And
because they're sinners, that's why, son. It's like, thank you, Father, thank you. Now, should we go to the East Sydney Hotel and get a mince pie? I think we shall. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
do you think that's what happened?
For sure. For sure. He's like 100 years old.
Other than that.
Yeah. So he it's not surprising at all that he would find you like crass or anything like that.
In other news...
But look, just as a quick summary, I hope Marcus Paul is all right. But guys, if you listen to his radio show, and I know that some of you do, can you please just keep badgering him to go on Twitch? I
think that's a good idea.
Just teach him that no one is going to pick up a specific digital brand that no one's ever heard of before to begin with that has no marketing behind it.
Yeah.
There are other ways these days, and it is to put your face on the front of a cover and then just having Andrew Tate with glasses in the background as you're being like, wow. That's how you do it.
Teach him how to do Twitch, and while you're at it, teach me too, because I want to start twitching, and I need to.
Yeah, you need to give a shout out to someone.
Can
right?
some?
For Christ's sakes, you owe Marcus Paul a karmic debt, and you're trying to ride on his carcass.
I'm not riding his carcass. This is completely different.
You need to give a shout out to someone.
If there's anyone in Sydney.
No, you need to give a shout out to a specific person who set up your Twitch for you.
Yeah, I don't have a specific person. I'm shouting out. If there's anyone in Sydney, if there's anyone in Sydney that isn't scary and doesn't have like crazy social disorders, to teach me how to set up and like Twitch in my room, get at me, because I want to do that.
Well, that's not happening. You can pick one or the other.
What do you mean?
You can either have some crazy weirdo come to your
No,
house.
okay. Well,
Come on,
no.
5 of them.
No.
Yeah, why don't you just ask your housemate to help you with it?
I think I have better things to do. They're not interested in setting up Twitch for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
they live with you permanently. Like, you know their names.
I know their names, but they're movers and shakers. They got their own lives. I need.
Sure.
Yes.
Last time I was in there, one was wearing a singlet, eating white bread at like
Believe it or not, that
2
is
in the afternoon on a Thursday.
that is a life. That is a life. But yeah, get at me, because I need like I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Might not need 3 hours to have his white bread sandwich. Maybe cut you a lean 45 out of his busy schedule.
I'd rather some newbie to come in and be like, "This is a camera," and I assume it's one of those 1930s.
You know what you want? You want someone to just come up with like a check. This is $5 million. I hope you have fun.
That'd be great too. I just want someone.
That's what Misla wants.
Just set my shit up. Set it up.
Just keep
and then you'll get
money into my
and
account.
then you'll get exactly what everyone on earth wants. Miss Love's musings.
What about your socks? What if they say that I'll set it up for you, but I need your stinky socks?
Oh, I'll do that. That's a deal. I'll do that in a heartbeat. But look.
Yeah, and then that Twitch is going to have some malfunction where it records everything that happens in your room.
Dude,
like, I need to know.
Sammy Sugar Daddy, and you've got to do a bit of it to get it done.
I'm up for a little kissy kiss if it needs to. Look, I need to find out if I do it on a PlayStation, a computer. It's all too confusing. I need some nerd to
why do you
come
keep
there.
suggesting a PlayStation?
Because
it's such
that's
a dumb idea.
Why?
Because it's like, dude, okay, I know that it technically uses the internet. Right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm pretty sure you know what like also uses the internet. It's computers.
Well, I know that, but I need someone to verify. So get at me,
Right. Okay. Look,
we can't all have this fancy team like you. 50 people, tending to every need. Camera this, camera that, etc. I need.
He doesn't have any of that, and
He does.
His team is far from fancy. First of all,
right. I need
and
someone.
Secondly, his camera is never in the place.
That's true, but I need someone, just some nerd to yell. Not just someone to come in and just be like, "Dish, dish, dish, dish. Sit here, play GTA." I'm like, okay, dish, click, click, click.
oh, that's why you want to do it on a PlayStation, because you want to start Twitch streaming PlayStation games.
Well, what was I gonna do? What am I going to Twitch otherwise?
Right, I forgot that you don't know how to use a PC.
Well, I have a Mac.
What
but
if you do political videos?
I think we've got our fill of that.
Yeah, but he's an expert on Fijian island politics, so he could just keep it going.
I don't want to do that. I want to sit there and play. I want to be Limmy. I want to sit there and be like, play games where the horse glitches.
Everyone wants to be Limmy.
And then the horse glitches like, the horse is flying. Ridiculous. So stupid. Ridiculous. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Thanks for the sub. Ridiculous. That's what I want to do.
All right.
So anyone, get at my Instagram and help me, damn it. One of you can help me. I'll even pay you.
How much?
We'll discuss the money after.
Okay.
I'll pay you
A
in
pineapple. If you do it,
in
a
Miss
solid
Love massage
pineapple.
tokens.
It'll happen.
It's
It'll.
not going to happen.
One pineapple is waiting.
If
A
you do
pineapple
this,
is
you're-
waiting.
Look, this is what I'm saying, right? Anybody that is doing this is an act of charity, like
It's not.
feeding the homeless on a Friday. That's what you're doing.
No, don't listen to him. A pineapple
You're
is
not-
waiting. If
you
you're
are not getting a
successful,
pineapple.
if you're successful, and you set my shit up, and you point to the chair and go sit down, and then you just press this fucking button, and then you can go date your list. Then it's yours. So
You know what's amazing? This is the best part. I love that this is Miss Love Bella Bradrick's retirement offer.
it is. This is my plan. I'm diversifying. This is me trying to raise my wage. I had a full D&M with Jordan about it in a sauna, and I was like, and Jordan gave me two options: either marry a lawyer or start twitching. And I'm like, look, it's broken for some reason.
There's a light in the side though.
So like, I'm gonna start twitching and help a brother out, man. I mean, that is the only way for me to make more money.
It is. Look, you're
And I
looking at
need
a man that is very down in his life. This is his last chance in life. He's already burned all his bridges in the illustrious career of radio.
They're all
Burned other people's bridges. How hard he's napalm.
There's a road, a path of destruction behind me. I need someone to come over. I'll buy the camera. I'll buy whatever I need, whatever you think I need. I've got the account. I have a Twitch account, Miss Love's Musings. You're just gonna give me like 2 games, show me how to do 2 games on the Mac, and then I will do it, and you'll get a lot of me. So, there's got to be just someone out there. It's got to
I
happen.
think there is somebody out there. The thing is, Miss, like Twitch seems like it's all fun and games because that's literally the job.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's, yeah.
I think that you also will have to do something that is really well beyond your scope, which is starting up a computer. You still have to do that.
I can do that. It's just all the things of like camera, good internet connect. I just need the little connector. It's like I got the leads, all the metaphorical leads. Metaphorical leads. The metaphorical
You've got
leads.
guitar leads.
Well, that's a lead. So metaphorically, all I need is someone to show me how to go clink and put the female to the male XLR. Metaphorically, I just need someone to be like, oh yeah, it's all here. You just need to sit here. Here's your thing. Boom. All right, now you can start doing it.
See, this is amazing that you can play the exact same songs as Yo-Yo Ma on like a violin, right? But you can't look up a YouTube tutorial on how to set up a Twitch stream.
I can't do it.
You can.
I can't. It's too. I'll zone out in the first minute. Like, okay, this is how the video. It'll be like, hey guys, okay, thank you so much for joining me. Before I get into it, please like and subscribe. Off. I've turned the video off.
Yeah, me too. I hate.
I can't do it.
I hate when you go onto one of those advice pages for something very simple like how do I use MS Paint?
Yes.
And the first 5 minutes is them asking,
10.
begging you.
I know.
Begging you to click on other information.
And even
why?
yeah, and even if I get through the like and subscribe, you know what it's going to be? Me watching that video, be like, don't have stucco fiberglass? No. That's fine. Just use carbon fiber stucco glass. No, like it's just like I just zone out. I'm like tech averse. There's nothing more boring to me when someone's sitting there being like, we're gonna go through the like you need the like what you need is a fiber like line to this set top box. Then when you get the red lead that goes out to the set top box to the bottom, the secondary set top box, right? Now make sure you go red to green. Usually it goes red to red, but this is the thing with the new set top box. Shut the fuck up! I will pay you to do it for me. I don't want to listen. Technical, it's so boring. It's so boring. This plasma actually, in terms of the pixels, so the pixels in the 2020 model, the pixels were pretty good, but the 2022 model, the pixels, they're pretty much the same amount of pixels, but in terms of the resolution, I'm going to kill myself. I will hurl myself a building if you keep talking. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so that's
exactly what you mean.
the struggle.
Doing an impression of it just gave me flashbacks. You can't. All right, look, you're right.
You understand?
Some computer nerd has to help him out.
Please.
All I'm saying is,
but don't be scary.
He's going to want to smell your feet. I think you're fine.
Wait. I'm fine with embarrassment. If you're like, I'm fine with that. I got a piss bottle in my room, but it's just as soon as you start talking about the fucking logistics, I'm just like, nah, I can't do it. And you understand,
Totally.
Yeah. It's so boring.
Yep.
It's just it's the downside of being in like a tech job or whatever, media. Like I couldn't do it.
It's not really the downside of it because most operations do have somebody that can do these.
They can do that shit for you.
But yes, in our universe, this is a terrible mistake.
Two creatives that are just being like, someone sells us the shit and you're like, I was thinking of putting a clown hat on and rolling around. They're like, okay, well let me explain how to film that. No, I don't explain it. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, so
hopefully we'll find someone for you.
Yeah, and then I'm on Easy Street.
And that's because that fixes it all.
I do actually think that he will be.
Well, our least suggestion was get a trade. So if that goes to shit,
I was saying go to TAFE while you're working here. You've got all your immediate financial needs met. Invest a year or two of your life at some course that you think, and then get a skill.
It's not a bad idea.
Because all the economy is exchange of money.
I'm learning.
In return for some skills.
Look, I'm learning.
But that's, as I was saying before, he has one skill in life, and that's being a barfly.
Barfly. I was in a bar today, and everyone loved me.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Also, I've got to give you my...
It's a weird skill.
I've got to give both...
Can you give yourself that name? You know how they all give themselves names like the Crusader and the Rational Gamer.
Vosh. That guy sucks.
You know what? I've been watching him so much that I like him now. I've gotten used to the neck beardiness. You just have to go through those first thrushes of me just using my dude too much.
Doesn't he like you?
Vosh.
Yeah.
I think he's completely indifferent to my existence.
Right.
And I am now a fan.
Well, it does happen. Kenny Rollins took a while.
What it was just the same thing as always. I think that this is what happens with anyone that you ever see in your life, right? Your immediate response is, that guy's a cunt.
Yeah.
Then there's just for some reason this thing of, I didn't say stop.
Yeah. Then
you keep watching them and you're just like, go on. And then you see the meme value in them. And I do see
irony,
the meme
exactly.
value a lot in Vorsh's existence.
Now you're at the final stage, which is, hey, he's all right.
What happened to Angel Wings?
I really don't want to admit that to myself. I want to stay at stage 4.
What happened to like Angel Wings, whatever his name is?
Who's Angel Wings?
Big fat guy, loses his shit.
Oh, Wings of Redemption! Oh, well, okay, I stand corrected. That theory's out the door. I was an instant fan of
that guy's amazing. There's exceptions to the rule.
He's incredible.
Is he still struggling to like pay for his like lipo or whatever? Is he still struggling?
He's just fatter than ever, so
Oh
I think
my
he got
God.
it and then came back and just like, it just
didn't
gained
work.
another 100 kilos.
Oh, fuck. It is a sedentary existence.
Wings of Redemption. I gotta get back into it. There's nothing funnier on earth than all the trolls just sitting there just being like, Wings of Redemption, you're so fat you probably ate your wife. No, I did not eat my wife. That is a stupid remark. Ban that man. Ban that man. I don't want to tolerate with this guy.
You're banned.
I'm trying to play a game here. Never make fun of me, man. I don't want to play games.
Jesus Christ.
Give me money.
How can he be sitting on his ass crying as he's playing a video game?
Who, like, charges money for crying in front of people.
Yes, and it works.
It works.
Straight crying.
It works.
Here's $20. I didn't say stop. The tears aren't flowing anymore. Boys, I went to Chris Rock, and I'm going to give you my review of the show.
Go on.
So Chris Rock came to Australia for
the footy,
his
by the way.
special called Death of Ego. He's going to probably come out with a special on Netflix soon.
Okay, but just, did he talk about the slap?
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
But it
Well,
was
that's the only
like
reason
such
he came.
basic shit. It was like,
It's the best thing that happened to him.
do you know?
Really embarrassing.
Do you know what happened? What I could tell. First of all, the show wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But it was average.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the only one because as soon as I walked out,
Arj Barker, better or worse?
dude, Chris Rock is one of the most experienced comics out there.
definitely better, yeah.
Arj Barker's got his rounds.
Yeah, but Chris Rock
He's done his rounds.
has made.
Yes.
Chris Rock has made.
Well-worn tire.
Chris Rock has made a
No
few
thread.
like excellent stand-up shows. You know, like, and Aj Baka hasn't gone to that level. So retro Chris Rock, Chris Rock's entire like demeanor back in the day used to be like, I'm first of all, he would talk about like how white people are different from black people,
Classic.
which is classic.
Good
He
move.
did a bit of that in
Yep.
this show too, which
Like
was
it,
great.
like it.
That was all the good stuff. And then
That is the good stuff.
that is the good stuff. That's definitely his observation of like how,
That's his Macarena.
yeah. He talked about the slap a little bit, but like he didn't say much. It seemed like he got slapped and he didn't know what to do about it afterwards. Everyone was like saying, Are you feeling okay about it? And he was like, I don't know, I just got slapped in the face. Because dude, in normal day-to-day life, if Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, he wouldn't have done shit anyways. Like, like he's
would have
not
been the same.
type of guy
Would have been the
that's-
same. You
yeah,
would have just
he's
been
not
like,
fucking
damn.
Joe Rogan that's gonna like choke slam him or shit. so he was just there. Was like I'm just gonna monetize this. That was his
Yeah.
entire thing.
So he got slapped in the face, and immediately it was just like, "Oh damn! I just sold another 200,000 tickets."
Yeah.
Well, there's that, but there's barely any. But my big concern, not concern, one of the things that I found a bit odd about Chris Rock's initial image was always, I'm famous, but I'm kind of a loser. Like chicks don't go after me because they want to go after Drake. That's who they want.
Right.
They want Denzel. They say Chris Rock, you funny. Denzel, I'm gonna suck your dick. That was his like demeanor back in the day. But now, ever since he's gotten divorced, he's obviously having heaps of sex because he's fucking Chris Rock. So his now entire thing is like, yeah, and then I fuck 40-year-olds and I fuck 30-year-olds and I fuck 35-year-olds and yeah. And
What?
like, that's a bit cringe, bro. It just doesn't. If Chris Tucker was doing that, it'd be kind of funny.
So it should have just been called Chris Rock, fuck boy that got slapped.
Yeah, that's what
Chris
it should be
Rock,
called.
death of ego.
And the other thing that I found personally kind of odd was that he was repeating some of his jokes from like 8 years ago. Is that common practice?
I mean,
About-
Arch does it frequently.
I would say about 10 to 15% of his show was reused material from like when his kids were small. And I've heard the jokes, and not even on stand-up specials, on like fucking Jay Leno and shit.
Jesus, that's lazy, isn't it?
So there was a bit of that, but the show overall was like decent. It wasn't, dude. It was $120, which I think was reasonable for Chris Rock.
But you felt like you would have been satisfied if it was like $40.
I would have been ecstatic if it was $40, but if it was something like $200, I would have been like, that was a bad buy. That was like, that was not a good start.
But you're teetering on the edge of a bad buy at 120.
I was like, I'm satisfied.
You're satisfied.
I'm satisfied.
Okay. Look. See, this is the whole thing about the post-woke era, which is that, like, where does someone like Chris Rock field in that area now when his entire shtick was just that, of just being like, hey, man, the difference between black people and white. Michael Jackson didn't do shit, man. Like, it's that's what you want from that guy. He's from old school Hollywood.
Yeah.
And like it's sad that relic has just been pushed out because that was the peak of American comedy right there. And now all of it is just this kind of hipstery, internet-y stuff, I suppose, which is, it just sounds like he's just a bro now.
There's a bit of that too. You know how every comedian's just like trying to
Like it's like
fuck
Dave
you,
Hughes.
woke police. They're all doing
I
it,
know,
which
but
is
at
a
the
bit
same time,
annoying.
It's so annoying that Dave Hughes does the thing of like, fuck you, woke police, but I have the most hipstery points imaginable. Right? Like, it's so annoying. Like, that was the downfall of... Neil Kolhatkar was saying this, actually. He was saying the same thing. It was just like, Dave Chappelle was killing it when he was a black comedian. Now he's like... now he's a hipster now.
Yeah, this is true.
You know? Like,
And the people don't want to admit that.
What?
People don't want to admit that the reason why Dave Chappelle was funny was because he was doing black humor.
Yeah.
And it was the peak of comedy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to say that wasn't by any means good. It was like the best comedy there ever is. But now his comedy is like, yeah, it's a bit hipster and it's not as good. He has a lot of confidence, which is good about him. He thinks he's the greatest comic. Maybe he is one of the best comics.
Yeah,
but like,
I mean, Jesus, that guy needs an ego death.
yeah, but he needs an ego death too. But that, like,
Both of them do, really.
people still think he's funniest, but like I know that he is not close to. He used to be the funniest individual on planet Earth. There was a time when there was no one that could even come close to the level of funny he had.
Yeah.
And now he's just a little relic of what that was.
He really is. All that he's got going for him now is the fact that he delivers his jokes slowly. That's the only real thing that's all that carried over. The thing that you wish was sped up.
But there are other factors.
His
As you
voice
get
has
older.
changed.
Yeah, I know. It's
His voice has completely changed from his old stand-up. And I think like
You know what it is? It's the same thing that kind of happened to Eminem. Don't you think that there was that point where Eminem just had that youthful 20-year-old ne'er-do-well voice, and then at some point in his career, his voice kind of just started sounding more gravelly. Like,
Well, you get older.
yeah,
You know, it happens.
I think that's what happened to Dave. as
Yeah,
well.
and
the
he's
thing is,
older,
when
man.
Dave
Like,
Chappelle came back after 15 years, I was like, "Is that you?
yeah.
Like, you're bald, I guess."
he's super muscly now. I have a theory which I mentioned on the upload, and I don't know if I should mention it here, but I think I know why Dave Chappelle changed his entire character. Did you ever watch that?
Africa changed you, man.
A little bit, not South Africa, but the episode of South Africa when he was on James Lipton's Inside the Actor Studio. Did you ever watch that with Dave Chappelle?
Yes.
So good, but one of the things that he mentioned in that was one of the best interviews ever. But one of the things that he mentioned in that was that he was on the Chappelle show and some guy laughed funny, like he was saying that people would laugh at the jokes, but then this one guy was laughing really hard, and that triggered him because he was like doing this extreme. His entire character was like dumb black man, and so he felt that this guy is not laughing at the joke, but he's laughing at the person that joke represents. That was in his mind, and I think.
Well, then why was he doing? That's the character. Yeah.
Because it was fucking funny. That's why, and that's something that he needs to realize. Is like, dude, it was funny. Like, people were like pissing laughing. That's how funny that shit was. And I think now he doesn't want to do it because he feels like it's, I suppose, racist comedy.
So pretty much, he's just gone down this. This is what I hate. This was really the death of comedy. What you're talking about there, which is that like most of comedy isn't really the line, it's the character. Character is a huge part of comedy. It's
Absolutely.
just like the demeanor and the voice.
Right.
And it's not just like about black comedians. Like Rodney Rude was funny because he used to play this like dumb bogan Australian. Now, if 10 years later Rodney Rude showed up and he was like speaking in a British accent, like, I like champagne now, you'd be fucking phased. You'd be like, what the fuck, Rodney?
Yeah, I know.
And it's not because no
Rodney's rebuttals.
Rodney's rebuttals.
That sounds alright,
because
actually.
like we're laughing at the person that a bogan Australian is. We're just laughing at the shit that they do because it's funny.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
same thing with black people.
And see, this is the whole thing, right? Like, this is what's so stupid about it as well. It's because they've all just bought into that aristocratic blend of like, it's all about race and this kind of stuff. And it's like, dude, it's not about race. The reason that they're laughing at those black characters is because they're poor black people.
Yeah.
That's why. The key ingredient there is that they are lower class. And no matter what nobody wants to admit, but again, Neil was very astute with this as well, because he was saying that, because I was just being like, why do you think it's just like wogs, blacks, Irish people, like these are the ones that are always just going to be like legendary and stuff. And he was just like, because they're all poor as shit. They're just working class.
They have a better perspective on life because they've seen shit. Dude, that
No,
entire
it's not
bit
just that.
of
It's
him.
also just, you know what else it is? It's they're not boring. Like people from the type of people that Dave Chappelle is appealing to now, right? It's like fucking, Harvard graduates and shit like that. And so they want that kind of like, they have that shitty, lame Obama view of the world and stuff. And that's what he wants to do.
Do you know there's like a term amongst black people in the U.S. where they call it being white famous? When a black comedian or any other artist reaches that point where their audience is now also white people.
Oh, yeah.
But the
like
problem-
R. Kelly.
Yeah, R. Kelly. But with the issue is like something happens once you become white famous because now you're pandering to white people as well. Your comedy suffers a little bit. when all of these comedians, whether it be Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, when you looked at their audience and it was just black people with that one fat black person who would like get up after every joke and be doing this the whole time, that's when they're at their peak.
Yes.
And as soon as like Bernie Sanders fans penetrate your audience, your comedy level goes down.
That's so true. Because you know what it actually probably is. This is the whole thing. They talk about like having these grand moral stands and stuff like that, but I know what's happening. It's just half of their audience feels uncomfortable, and so they start being like, "Oh shit, I'm not funny anymore," and so they just start pandering to them. That's what's happening.
Yeah, it's real tragic because like Chris Rock just seems like he's not in his form, but Dave Chappelle seems like he self-sabotaged his entire comedy career.
Yeah,
and I know he's like rich as shit, and people still love him, but people that appreciate comedy knows that he's not even close to where he used to be.
I know. Like, I heard him do this speech at his old performing arts school, and he was talking about, like, how much of an artist he is and how much he suffered for his art and all this kind of stuff. And I suppose he never shuts up about leaving Chappelle Show. I've heard it so many times, right? But never actually saying why, just always alluding around to it. But, like...
I'm telling you, this is why he left Chappelle Show, too. He did not like his comedy anymore. He felt ashamed of it. He felt that it was.
But how could he be proud of it now? The audience is. He's just doing lectures now.
Yeah, he's doing lectures now, which
more so than I do.
True. Less jokes, if you can imagine. It's tragic. The only person who's special when we watch Bill Burr's latest special, he was doing exactly what he did in every other special of his, which is shit on women, and he is good at it.
And it still worked.
It worked.
But again, he's been tempered for a different reason, and that was his wife. But
he's still he's been tempered. Like, okay, he used to talk about look, this is getting into like upplay territory, but he's been tempered when it comes to like racial issues. But when it comes to hating on bitches, he's still on board. You know, which is like it's funny because that's his stick. That's like giving up your superpower.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You're famous because of it. Not many people can shit on bitches and be funny the way that Bill Burr can. It's his individual
this is the
expertise.
Other thing as well. Is able, like, has the license to do it.
Yeah.
Not even being able to funny. That was the thing that like really pushed him out into the forefront, wasn't it? It was like, whoa, he's gone like way further than I've ever heard any other comedian go.
With the gold digging whores and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
Even the Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff, like back in the day, this was amazing because you know what that actually was? It was like the comedic version of manufacturing consent. It was like, I didn't know that it could go so deep, you know?
Yeah, you could be part of it.
Like that you could have that opinion because no one had ever aired the opinion that, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger was right in cheating on his wife.
and he was. By the end of that special, we're like, fair enough.
Yeah, we're just like, fuck, he's right.
How could he not do it? Yeah. I would have been surprised if he hadn't done it.
I think that's actually the other thing as well. That's why, like, Bill Burr's still great, but he's not getting those points anymore where you think, like, he's grabbed some kind of, like, social held view and flipped it. But I think that also might just be the thing that the internet exists now. And so, like, you're just exposed to a lot more views.
This is true. Boys, should we end it for tonight?
Is that time? Is that time?
Make sure you sign up to our Play podcast for more revelations about Miss Love's love life. And we will see you next time. And you want to tune in for it as well. Do you want to tune in for it?
For what? Next week?
Miss Love's love life?
Actually, there's big announcement about that. We created a shitstorm on the Upload from that last time, which we're not going to talk about right now, but we will talk about it on the Upload. We got canceled again. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next week. Hopefully.
Bye.
Adios. Bye.
See you guys.